Yo, what up? All right. We got another one from Joke World.
Okay. What we got?
This is part 2 of Tim Dillon's funniest moments.
Ah, okay. Mr. Tim Dillon.
Tim Dillon.
Yeah, man. Funny dude.
Funny dude. You said he looks like
Chris Farley. Yeah. Yeah, but I saw people in the comments, they're saying that he favors his brother, I think. I can't remember his name.
Yeah. Tim Dillon favors Chris Farley's brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know Chris Farley had a brother.
No, I don't know either.
I was about to say Tim Dillon could be Chris Farley's brother.
Right, maybe that's what they were saying. Maybe I read it wrong. But, all right, man, you ready?
Yes, I am.
Let's go.
What's the deal with airplane peanuts?
I had a publicist for like 25 minutes, and I fired her after she 2 weeks after I did Rogan. She texted me. She went, "You did Rogan?" So
you're like, all right, I gotta go.
I said, "Let's go."
Yeah.
Also, she asked me to her ex-boyfriend who had blocked her on Facebook. She wanted me to go and look what relationship status he was in. So I said she might not be the most professional.
And this,
this was a real person.
and she was charging you real fees. Like this
She was charging me money, and so I had to say no to her. And but she said, she goes, "I'm going to try to get you like this was a fact." She was trying to get me like she wanted Megabus to endorse me because this was like when I used to take Megabuses to shows, like not currently, but like I had a bit about it in my act, like Megabus. So she goes, "We'd like, I would love, we'd love to get
to get a Megabus
to
sponsorship.
get you and Megabus in business
Wait,
together."
explain Megabus to people.
Well,
Who don't
Megabus
know.
is just, it's the bus that passes you by and it goes, for $1, get on.
Yeah.
And it's never $1, but it's always like, it's,
Right.
as the buses go, it's
Yeah.
a pretty good option. It's like
Right.
a double-decker. It's college kids, old people, hippies. It's not that bad. It's not like Greyhound, and then it starts to fall off a little bit. It gets really bad. Lucky Star, like they get real bad.
They get bad.
They get bad. But Megabus was one that I would take a lot. And she goes, I said, this was her quote. She goes, "It'd be great to get you in business with a
Megabus.
brand like Megabus."
What?
I'm still open to
Dollar
that.
bus.
I'm still open.
What was your response to that?
Great? Because that's what this business does to you.
Yeah.
You're like, absolutely.
Yeah.
I will advertise anything. Wait a minute, this is a joke.
When I was 19, I used to go around with a slingshot. My boy had a slingshot. We would go and we would break bus terminal windows on Francis Lewis Boulevard.
What?
And we would just fucking shatter bus terminal windows. If I was a 19-year-old kid right now, I'd be at the protest fucking breaking windows in police precincts.
Dude,
That's
when
what
I
they
was
do.
19, I was fucking lending fucking janitors $800,000 to buy their dream home on Long Island.
And now they're
What?
So
Who cares?
So if I come to you right now, let's go back. You're a mortgage broker in Long Island. I meet you in a diner, which is you call your office.
The Imperial Diner in Freeport,
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah,
phenomenal.
yeah, you go-
We got to make it real.
Yeah.
So it's the Imperial Diner in Freeport on Merrick Road.
Yeah, you say meet me at the office, and I hear you
Where
hang up.
we'll spill hot coffee on you by mistake and look at you and go.
Yeah. And when you tell me to meet you at your office, I hear the clang of a payphone when you hang up.
Yeah.
And so I meet you at your office. I come in. I say, "Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you, Mr. Dillon. Me and my wife just got married. I'm a comedian. I saved up about $80K. She wants to live. We're having a baby.
Here's
She
your
wants to
Mr.
live on the
Pappas.
island.
Mr. Pop, I'm very glad.
Can I get a loan?
Not only can you get a loan, but let me tell you something.
Yeah.
How much of that $80K are you prepared to spend on the property?
I don't know, Mr. Dillon. I'm a pretty conservative guy. I saved every single dollar from my more recent shows.
How much are you prepared to spend?
Hold on, let me go into my recent brain.
No. Of that $80,000, how much would you like to spend? Are you willing to spend all of it?
I'm willing to spend about 60 or 70 of it.
Mr. Pappas, guess how much of that 80 you're gonna have to spend?
How much?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing. You're not gonna spend anything. Because let me explain something to you. Sit down. The wife is lovely. Would you like a cup of coffee? Yeah. Here's the thing.
Wait, can I
Mr.
get
Pappas.
Can I get pancakes while I'm
Yeah,
here?
you can get anything. The bricks and sticks of your house.
Yeah.
Appreciate. The frame, the land. They appreciate value. You know what your money does in your house for you, Mr. Pappas? It does absolutely nothing. You know what the wealthiest people do with real estate, Mr. Pappas? A lot of them finance it. Why? Because your mortgage is your only tax write-off. It is the only write-off. It is your only fucking weapon against the federal government. The larger the loan you take, the better it is for you financially. And you take that $80,000, and I'm not wrong, by the way, and you put, well, I'm a little, and you put it in tax-exempt securities like Roth IRAs. Mr. Pappas, you maximize the amount of tax-exempt retirement accounts that you put your money in with that $80,000, you make it work for you. You do not sink it into a house. Yes or yes? So the reality is this. We're taking the biggest loan possible. Debt, Mr. Pappas, will set you free.
Damn.
Sign this piece of paper for Christ. And at that point, you and your wife are crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we sign papers, and you go die.
But how do you get the loan from the bank? They're giving them away.
Back in the day, what are we doing? We're talking about now or back in the day?
No, back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I go to the bank. I said, Kelly, we got one. I said, Mr. Pappas and his wife Brittany's from Long Island. They want to go buy a piece of marble hunk of shit. And Kelly has got Coke running down her nose from last night. She's got a fucking double tall non-fat latte from Starbucks non-fat. She's not kidding anyone. And she nails it down and she says, she makes all the paperwork look like it should look. And then my little shitty bank, which was called Franklin First or New World Mortgage or the Mortgage Zone or the Funding Hut or whatever it is, we send our paper to a fucking even bigger and as similarly shitty bank like a Long Beach Mortgage or a New Century Mortgage or an Argent. And those banks were doing backdoor deals with JP Morgan, Citigroup. So those banks were underwriting the paper to the middle grade banks that were lending money to the dirtbag brokerage operating out of a van places that I work. Okay?
Right.
So when this all... You ever played a game of hot potato?
Yeah, it's an orgy, yeah.
So when everything goes wrong,
You pass it around.
we're passing it around. And
Yeah.
then by the time you sign your mortgage, by the time you get your first bill, because the other benefit, Mr. Pop, is you don't pay for 2 months.
Right.
For 2 months, you don't pay.
But
That's
are you
two-
sure I'm going to be able to afford this mortgage? My my career is up and down.
Mr. Pappas, I have watched your stuff. I think you're a genius.
I think I'm leaving TikTok.
No.
Enjoyed all the friendship.
Thanks for turning the volume up. Background.
Some dramas going on.
No,
Really,
don't leave.
really
I didn't
Leave.
even know you were allowed to be on. I don't even have one. I didn't know you were allowed to be on it if you were over 19. Like, I had no idea that there were 60-year-olds leaving TikTok.
Oh, there are.
Like emotionally
Making an announcement.
You're like emotionally going. I made a lot of friendships here. It's like that's illegal. That's against the law. What do you mean you've made a lot of friendships here?
Right.
What are you talking about? I mean,
We had been
Yeah.
day drinking in Florida, visiting
Yeah.
my family, and we saw these little kids, like fifth graders,
yeah.
by the pool in this place, and we walked in on them, and they were choreographed. We're like, "What are you doing?" And we've been drinking,
Right.
and they're like, "Oh," and they're in their school uniforms. They're like, "We're
Right.
making a TikTok," and we both were like, "We're on TikTok," and they were like, "Oh, okay." These are like 10,
Yeah,
11-year-old
they think
girls.
they're gonna get killed.
And then they're like, "What's your handle?" And I was like, I spelled it out for them. And then as we walked out, I realized that the last one I had posted was me pulling my nipples and going like, and I was like, "Oh, we gotta go. We gotta go.
We gotta get out of here.
Ah.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things, man. It's like old people have Facebook. That's where you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where you go to scream
Yeah.
into the void, talk about your knee operation.
Yes.
Talk about Donald Trump. Talk about dead animals. Talk
Scream
about.
into the void.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's what it
It
is.
is.
That's what you're there. That's what it's for.
A
Amazing.
backyard show.
Amazing.
I just want it'll be my
It's
first
gonna
one.
be great. It'll be fun. As soon as you get that laugh and you're in, you're like, oh, I'm back in, and it's amazing. But then they're closing all the parking garages in New York now at midnight because homeless people, I guess, are just walking down into them, and they're like, hey, this is a fun cave.
Yeah.
What could happen here?
Yeah.
I like cars.
Yeah.
You know, like I imagine like homeless people like there's a cave full of luxury cars 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
We don't have to be in the rain tonight.
Right.
And so they are closing those at midnight. So then me and my opener, we get back and we're driving around the city trying to find a spot. Everything's just weird, man. We went into a bodega at like 1. We're like standing there. There's a homeless woman in there begging for tea. The dude's like, it's your third tea. And then you're looking at 2 guys that are kind of walking around the bodega and you're like, something feels off. Like, are they about to whip a gun out? Am I just paranoid because of the news? Nobody's out at night. New York City used to be, and I lived there for years.
Bumping, dude.
Bumping. 3 a.m. I'd be in a diner yelling at people about how fucked this business was. You know, I have been denied. The amount of bitter, resentful bile that came out of my mouth as marinara sauce was flying out of it, and mozzarella stick by, just being like, the denial. This bitch gets a special. Just nasty, real horror. I wasted so much in New York. Like, I loved it. It was amazing. Yeah. But, like, just the amount of time I spent walking around being angry and not in awe of what an amazing city it was. Like, my opener, he paints this picture of, like, it's so amazing. He's like, it's just so easy to meet girls and you're dating and it's just, you're there. You guys can go get margaritas. And I'm like, but what about all the hatred? Like, didn't you just walk around every day consumed with a darkness in you didn't know how to get rid of? He's like, what? Well, not really, no. He's like, I was dating, and I'm like, but what about the late nights on the roof of your building smoking a cigarette, cursing God? I love it there. I miss it a little. Never live there again because me and New York have that relationship where we destroy each other. I was a tour guide. I ruined people's lives. I ruined vacations that people had saved up their entire life to come to New York to just see it. And I would grab the microphone and I'd go, this city sucks and I am dying in this city. I have nothing and everyone I know has nothing. Everyone. I said, I know some of the most talented people and they're getting nowhere. And people were like, this is really, we just want to see the Lion King. We just want to see the Lion King.
Were you doing bus tours?
Yeah, double-decker bus tours. I would stand on the bus, and I would just go out there, and I would tell people, I would say, they'd be like, it seems like you have such a fun job. I say, ask Winter. You know how many operations Winter's had on her foot? 6. She's had 6 foot operations. She's 68 years old. Okay? She doesn't want to show you Carnegie Hall anymore. She wants the long sleep. Like, it was such...
Stupid.
It was bad. Tour guides are tragic characters. You become a tourist in your own home. You start falling in love with the buildings. You hate people.
Yeah.
You hate people. So that was my experience in New York. Is just an orb of negativity.
COVID, a broken ankle. Last night she said I had an overwhelming amount of pressure. There was no real sickness. Okay. It was just an overwhelming amount of pressure that needed to be relieved.
The worst part is the video. She's like, "Don't worry, I'll relieve you from the pressure." And Mike's like, "Yes, thank you, nurse."
Yeah.
Well, no idea.
Yeah. It's like someone's holding a gun to his head. They're like, "Role play, bitch." Thank
you have to get better at it.
Yes.
You have to get better.
You ever do the RPG stuff, the role playing?
Well, that's
I think
have you ever used an RPG in the bedroom?
I think when someone's hooking up with me, they're always pretending I'm someone else. I always imagine they're doing a role play in their head because their eyes are closed and a lot of times they're screaming. No, I've never. I'm not into like role playing. I think it's just hot enough. I'm like, I'm me, you're you.
Got it.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good enough. This is fun enough. And I'm also bad. Like, I would want to be something that I'm believably not.
What, for example?
You know, I just want to be, I'd want to be a sport, like in sports or a fight. Like, it would be ridiculous. I'm like a fighter. I'd be like, I'm a boxer and they go, no, you're not. You're not. So I'll do like a realistic role play where I'm like a manager at a
Burger King.
Yeah, at an Islands Burgers and Shakes. I'm a manager.
Great restaurant.
Great. And I'm a manager, and you're a waiter who's going to be fired, and and it's just and it's always sexual harassment. All my role plays are, I'm committing a felony in my head. So that's why I stay away from it, because I'm like, this is an abuse of power. This is not good. Mm-hmm. So I try to just stay away.
Look, Tim. Joe Rogan says you're a national treasure.
He also said the vaccine for coronavirus was freshly fallen snow. So I love him to death, but he says a lot.
Yo, he really does. He also said Connecticut. Is simply a highway between New York and Boston.
Every other day he talks to me. He's like, vitamin D cures COVID. I'm like, I don't know, but all right. So I'm just taking vitamin D, no mask, thinking I'm good. So I'm gonna drop dead on his advice. I love him to death, but
stupid. Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah, some more good old Tim, man.
Yeah, we learned a lot. We learned he used to drive. He used to be the tour guide on a double-decker bus. That's probably where his.
I can definitely see he's got the voice for it, but.
Yeah, that's where his darkness comes from.
Said I fell in love with buildings and I love people.
He hates, he makes you hate people. I can see that.
Oh man, yeah.
Learn a little bit about real estate. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Invest your money.
Or we already knew that they're trying to, get over on you.
Right.
You shouldn't.
Right,
I don't think you should take out as big as loan as possible. Like you said.
Oh man, yeah, man, definitely, man. He was up there with Tom Segura a lot, and we saw the TikTok thing before.
Oh yeah. The whole deal on there.
He said, "Check out my TikTok." He said, "The last video I posted, me tugging my nipples, sticking my tongue out."
That would be a problem.
Yeah,
go look at my TikTok, little girls. What the hell?
Yeah, man. I guess there should be an age requirement, I guess, for TikTok. In a way.
Well, I mean, how can you?
Yeah, you can't deprive somebody.
Yeah, if an old person want to get on TikTok, let them get on TikTok.
Exactly. Why should they have to stick to Facebook?
Yeah, old people usually be on Facebook. That's usually the old people app. Facebook.
Man, soon Instagram's gonna
be over?
No, it'll be like the old app.
No, Instagram, it kind of already is. What is this on my chain? Oh my goodness.